Hey, if you haven't seen the How You Should Buff Druid Part 1, go watch that. This is a companion piece to that. You know, it's like PB&J. And you know what? I'm going to list off all the reasons you should watch it. 1, I make a spore ghost in it. That's pretty cool. 2, make a spore zombie. If you like mushrooms, man, that's your video. I buff a lot of spore druid, magic, so that's cool. Also buff Circle of Land. Hey, is that Wildfire and his friend Bushy? Are you leaving? Okay, bye Wildfire. Bye Bushy. Okay, let's talk about more druids. Circle of Dreams. This is the Feywild druid. I love the Fey. A lot of people don't like the Fey because they always try to trick you or kidnap your children to raise and or eat them, but that's their fault for walking into the old woods without a bag of cold iron horseshoes. Amateurs! Circle of Dreams druids are less about the child theft and more about staying out of harm's way. They can teleport and even bonus action heal. They get Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow at level 6, which makes an invisible bubble that helps hide those inside it and prevents others from seeing lights inside the bubble, like a campfire, or an impromptu charity rave / sacrificial burning. It's nice, but not as good as altering the very laws of fate we are ruled by in this mortal coil. So, buff time. Since this class is a healer, let's have this ability give temp HP. Any creature that takes a long rest in the bubble gets 1d4 plus your wisdom modifier in temp HP. The way I envision this is after a long day of adventuring and fighting horrible monsters, you come into this magical veil. It has this special warmth to it. It reminds you of the coziness of a childhood blanket, the heat of a fireplace and the calm of a holiday, and the warmth of a lover's embrace. And you sleep easier, feeling safe, and you fall into a deep, restful sleep, and you dream sweet dreams about being nearly as good as the hippie who can shoot stars out of his dingle. So even with this, I think they need a buff. Circle of Dreams is all about, well, dreams, and the Fae are very tricky folk, so let's play off that. At level 6, we give them a new feature called Waking Dreams. You use the trickery of the Fae to alter a creature's appearance to resemble an enemy's friend, ally, or loved one. As a reaction, when you or a creature you see is being attacked or a harmful spell is cast upon them, you can cast Sanctuary on said creature without expending a spell slot. When you cast the spell this way, the creature keeps the effect of Sanctuary until the end of their next turn unless they attack, cast a spell that affects an enemy, or deals damage to another creature. An important part of the Fae is deception, and nothing is more deceptive than tricking an enemy into thinking you're that hot lifeguard from summer camp. How could he raise a weapon at you? He's too confused and aroused to attack you. With this change, Dreams Druid not only can heal their allies, but keep damage off them as well. Now you can sleep soundly with the knowledge that the Circle of Dreams has your back. Shepard Druid. The Summoning Druid, the Animal Master, the guy who makes you fight a zoo. The Shepard Druid is all about summoning creatures and making them more deadly. They do this by summoning animal spirits to aid your allies. They can summon the spirit of a bear, eagle, or unicorn. I love this idea because the Totem Barbarian also has a bear totem spirit, sort of implying that they get their powers from the same entities. The way you channel these spirits comes from your level 2 feature, Spirit Totem. It's a giant area of effect that you can move to buff your allies, but the buffs leave much to be desired. For instance, the Hawk Spirit lets you give advantage to perception checks and use your reaction to give advantage to one attack made against a creature in the aura. It's asking for your reaction, your bonus action, and for the enemy to still be in the aura. And all you get is advantage on one attack. That's a lot to ask for and not much reward in return. I don't really see this being used at higher levels at all. So here's my change. It still requires a reaction, but it gives advantage on all attack rolls and gives an extra 1d4 damage on each successful attack until the end of your ally's turn. With this change, it's good even at later levels, because when creatures do get multiple attacks, they get more damage for each successful hit. Hits you help to get. Nothing is better in D&D than working as a team. Yes, this can help your summons, but can also help the monk with 4 attacks, or the fighter with action surge ready to go. Oh, the fighter got a nat 1 on its attack roll against the demon? No. You get to reroll it, and oh, look at that. It's a hit, and now I'm gonna make you eat this D4. On to the Unicorn Spirit. This ability lets you give bonus healing to anyone in the aura. That's good, no changes needed. And the aura gives advantage to detect creatures in the aura. So advantage on perception checks, which the Hawk Spirit already does. I know Wizards is clearly running out of ideas, but I didn't think they would run out of creativity in the span of literally 2 sentences. There are slight differences between the Hawk and the Unicorn search capabilities, but they are too minor and really not worth talking about. So Unicorn needs a whole new effect. We will change it so it gets advantage to stealth checks to any creature you choose as long as they stay in the aura. That was really easy to think of. I literally just looked on page 293 of the Monster Manual where the Unicorn entry is. It's a thing a unicorn can do. It took me 3 minutes to think of this idea. How have you guys run out of ideas for druids? Just go walk in the woods to get some ideas. Go touch grass. Anyway, Bear Spirit. It's the strongest one here, but it's still not as good as the Astronaut with a Gun. It gives you temp HP, advantage on strength checks and saves, but since those don't come up a whole lot, we will also give them advantage on Constitution saving throws as well. If we're talking Bear Spirit, like the bear spirit that Barbarian uses to resist the heat of fire, the chill of winter, and the fury of gods, I don't know, I think the same spirit should be good at con saves. Makes sense to me, I don't know. So the buffs should be good now, but you still only get 1 use per short rest. Star Druid can give itself 2 buffs per short rest using its Wild Shape ability to turn into a neon sign of death. So why not also for the Spirit Totem? To make it interesting, let's have the uses of this ability tied to uses of your Wild Shape. That way you get 2 uses of your core ability per short rest, and you're using a resource that you don't normally use as much for the subclass. And now there is interesting decision making involved. Do I use my last Wild Shape to turn into a rat to scout ahead, or do I save it to use it for a Spirit Totem in case a fight breaks out? Choice is what makes this game interesting, so I think this is a good idea. The last thing we gotta fix is their level 6 and 10 ability, Mighty Summoner and Guardian Spirit. It gives your summons more health and even regenerates their health, which is incredible. However, it only affects Animal and Fey. We are going to change it so it also applies to Elementals. I know this subclass is Animal and Fey themed, but it's still the quintessential summoning druid, and summoning elementals is quintessentially a summoner's thing. Plus it just makes the game easier. When you have access to 5th level spell slots, your options are to summon a bunch of creatures and keep track of their individual hit points, or use the new Tasha's summoning spells, which are good, but man, they're such a hassle. You gotta do a bunch of like math to figure out their health and AC and how many attacks they have, which yeah, I mean like it's easy math. Quick math. But don't forget, as soon as you sit down to play D&D, everyone in your group drops like 100 IQ points. I have played with a literal doctor who couldn't figure out 17 plus 4. So there's a bunch of math with summons, and you gotta write it down somewhere, and it's worse if you're playing online, like Roll20, and you gotta ask the DM to share the stat block with you and give you permissions to edit and move the token, and basically, you gotta make like a whole new character sheet. Sometimes you just want a rock to go bonk, you know? So, yeah, these features should also affect elementals. So is this on par with Star Druid yet? Almost. Their bread and butter spell is Conjure Animals. It's a spell that does exactly that. It conjures animals. It's as integral to them as Animate Dead is to Necromancer, or how needlessly expanding the lore of a D&D campaign is to DMs. I have a Google Doc of lore that's 40 pages long and growing. I know none of my players read it, so why do I keep adding to it? Why can't I just stop? Shepard Druids need Conjure Animals, so I think at level 6 they should learn the spell for free and be able to cast it once per a long rest for free. The Star Druid gets some free spells, and the Fire Druid gets a free summon, so why shouldn't our little Shepard boy? To minimize bookkeeping and to save the DM's sanity, you can only summon 1 CR2 beast when you cast it for free. You can summon additional CR2 beasts as you level up, but you gotta plan your turn in advance, dude. If you're one of those players who takes 15 minutes to make 1 turn, it only gets worse when multiplying that by every creature you are controlling. So if you're playing the subclass, just please pay attention. With these changes, you can be the Beastmaster you always wanted to be. No, not that one. Not that one either. That's the one. Okay, so that's all our druids. Yep. No other druid to speak of. No other druid with glaring issues in its design. Nope. None of that. Okay, what I'm about to say is going to sound insane at first, but just hear me out, please. I think Moon Druid needs a buff. All right, hold on. Wait, hold on. Just bear with me. Hear me out. First, let's explain what a Moon Druid is to those unaware. So Druids can use their wild shape to turn into animals. A Moon Druid can turn into animals with higher CRs. CR stands for challenge rating, and challenge rating tells you how strong a creature is. The higher the CR, the more deadly the creature. The math for Moon Druids breaks down like this. They can turn into any beast that has a CR equal to their level divided by 3 rounded down, but a minimum of CR1. So while every other druid can turn into a wolf, a Moon Druid can turn into a direwolf, and in D&D, direwolves are about the size of a horse. It's a big pupper. And they can transform into these stronger beasts in combat and literally give themselves another health bar because you use the animal's health, not yours, while in literal beast mode. You only use your health when the animal form hits 0. They can give themselves another health bar twice per short rest. And while they can't cast spells in their animal form until level 18, they can use their spell slots to heal themselves 1d8 hit points per spell level as a bonus action. Do you see where this is going? They basically become tanky onions, putting on layers and layers of defense. It's like a Matryoshka doll made of Kevlar. They are nearly unkillable, making them really good tanks.
So why in the world does this need a buff?
Every feature they get is great, but the issue isn't that. It's the beasts they can turn into, or more accurately, the lack of beasts they can turn into. At the time of this recording, there are 17 beasts above CR1 that you can turn into. 8 of those are from CR3 to CR6, or 8 of those beasts are the ones you can turn into from level 9 to level 20. By the way, I am only counting the beasts that are freely available on D&D Beyond because there are no higher level beasts in the Player's Handbook, which is the book the Moon Druid was printed in. Why am I not using the beasts from other books, you might ask? Because I believe when you buy something, it should come as a complete, functional package. You shouldn't have to make extra purchases to make the first purchase work. Here's how bad it is. At level 8, you can turn into a beast that can fly. The highest CR of flying beast you could turn into is CR1. That's as strong as the flyers get. Something a level 1 party could kill. Some snooty individuals might say, oh, well, the role of a tank shouldn't fly. They shouldn't be able to turn into higher CR birds. Then why give them the ability in the first place? And it gets even more annoying. The strongest animal you can turn into is CR6, but there's only one of them, the mammoth. Even if I wanted to include other source books Wizards of the Coast has sold, they have not printed a single CR6 beast at the time of making this video.
It's only mammoths. Really like how the game goes up to level 20, but they only focus on, what, level 3 through 12? Very fun idea, very cool.
It's so frustrating. In a world of limitless imagination, you can't think of a single creature as strong as Fuzzy Ray Romano. And it's not like WotC are only using animals that have existed in real life for their beast classification. They make up creatures all the time and then give them the beast category. Wizards of the Coast have made frogs that are the size of people, a bunny with a unicorn horn, flying monkeys, rats with multiple heads, a baboon with multiple arms. There is a cow that can cast the spell Dancing Lights. A cow, that is a beast, and it's a wizard. But a beast as strong as a mammoth would be taking it too far. No one can outmatch Ray Romano. Now, eventually you can turn into elementals at level 10, which is awesome, but it gets worse the higher level you get because there's no scaling. How many times do I need to say this? I cannot defeat Ginnerus, the ancient black dragon, guardian of the underworld, with a fire elemental that only has a +6 to hit. If you turn into a fire elemental at level 20, you should be burninating the countryside, burninating the peasants. Without scaling, you'll just be hot garbage. Speaking of scaling, an easy fix for this is to add some. Adding on to the Circle of Forms and Elemental Wild Shape, let's have it so you can use either the Beast's or the Elemental's attack bonus, or your spell attack bonus when attacking in Wild Shape, whichever is higher. This way, you can keep up with your team. But even still, that's not enough, because there simply are not enough choices of beasts to choose from. Until now! I made something for you guys. It's Bone Wizard's Big Booklet of Beasts, or the BWBBB as the cool kids call it. 25 different beasts that you can use in your game, ones that walk on land, swim in the water, and fly through the air. Some are based on animals that do or did exist on Earth, and some are animals that have a more fantastical element to them. And all of them follow the precedent that Wizards of the Coast used for making their beasts. There are plenty of beasts from CR2 to CR6 that give the Moon Druid lots of options. Even threw a CR20 beast in there, because why not?
Maybe you can polymorph a level 20 character into it. I don't know, just throwing out ideas. And the best part is, it is completely 100% free. There's a link in the description. You can pick it up in the Bone Zone Discord as well. People are very nice there. It's why is there so much time left in this video? I'm nearly done. If you like the video or the booklet, consider liking the video, subscribing, or becoming a patron. Got a bunch of cool perks based on the vids I released. Okay, the video is still going. You know what? I'm sure it's fine. It's hard to explain. Just try your best to describe what you saw. When I detected magic on it, I saw a strange transmutation aura. Thinking it was simply an illusion of a false aura, I dispelled it. And then I saw it. The necrotic vortex was centered on this bone wizard? Seriously? It wasn't just necrotic. It was every single type of magic. Necromantic, evocation, enchantment, alteration. All of them. But you did see necrotic energy flowing into a corporeal undead, yes? Correct. So surely it's safe to assume this is a lich. I don't know. This was different. I've never seen anything like that. The energy around it moved with no pattern or structure. It was like an explosion paused in a moment that could continue at any point and unleash its yield. If this thing isn't a lich, I fear it's something new and something much, much worse. Just want to give a shout out to all the people who supported me at the $15 tier and higher on Patreon and the YouTube memberships. So thank you to Panko6, thank you Beefmaster, and thank you Manifesting. It is because of you guys I am able to release more videos and put more quality into them. So thank you so much, and thank you.